Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a stadium packed with tens of thousands of people, each one searching for a safe place to sleep tonight. Now, picture scenes like this echoed across the nation. Today, we're exploring 25 US cities where homeless populations are big enough to fill entire schools, neighborhoods, or even small towns. These aren't just numbers. Each figure represents a mother, a veteran, a neighbor, all facing the US housing crisis day by day. We'll count down from number 25 to number 1, traveling through charming lakefront communities, tech-driven boom towns, historic capitals, and scenic coasts, each struggling with homelessness in America. But we'll also discover hope people, championing a housing-first model, volunteers transforming vacant lots into shelters, and local leaders testing creative policies. In understanding America's hidden struggles, we can transform dry statistics into empathy-fueled action. If you're ready to see homeless population statistics as human stories rather than distant facts, and to spark your own compassion, stay with us. Subscribe to Let's Explore, and together we'll find that beneath complex problems lie human hearts and the potential to help. Let's begin. Number 25, Burlington, Vermont. Burlington's homeless population could fill a handful of school buses. Imagine a high school assembly where each seat is taken by someone without a stable home. Known for craft breweries and autumn leaves, it's easy to miss the few hundred people struggling each night. Pro-warm cider amid radiant foliage. Con racing to secure a safe bed feels like scaling a steep mountain trail. Historically modest and cozy, Burlington never built endless suburbs, leaving fewer affordable units. Picture Eleanor, who lost her retail job last winter and now sleeps on a friend's couch. Local non-profits embrace a housing-first model, convinced that dignity starts with a roof, turning cold data into urgent calls for action. In quiet streets, church halls become emergency dorms as winter bites. Amid fresh bread scents and pine-scented breezes, volunteers hand out blankets and hope. Even in serene towns, America's hidden struggles persist. Small acts of kindness can soften what once felt overwhelming. Number 24, Tampa, Florida. Tampa's homeless could fill a large high school auditorium. Visualize rows of chairs, each representing someone sleeping in a car or tent. Under pastel sunsets and salty bay air, rising rents push working families to the brink. Beautiful waterfront views, cracking the code to afford even a tiny unit can feel impossible. A port city grown in uneven bursts, Tampa scattered its affordable options too thin. Meet Carlos, a handyman juggling 2 part-time jobs since a rent hike nearly left him on the street. Tenant workshops help him understand his rights, making homeless population statistics feel less like numbers and more like people's stories. Inside a modest community centre, neighbours discuss vouchers, flexible zoning, and nudging landlords towards mercy. Sipping coffee and sharing pastry crumbs, they transform the US housing crisis from fear into solidarity. Small changes brighten nights that once seemed endless, reminding us that empathy bridges any gap. Number 23, Orlando, Florida. Orlando's homeless population could match a cozy suburban block's worth of households, except this block is scattered across motels and sidewalks, not cul-de-sacs. Amid churro stands and theme park parades, hospitality workers walk a wage tightrope, pro-endless attractions and fun. Con realizing a day's paycheck might cover only half the rent, if that. Once a cattle town turned tourist magnet, Orlando soared without building enough starter homes. Think of Megan greeting thousands of smiling visitors at her theme park job, then returning to a cramped motel room with her children. New workforce housing developments aim to make homelessness in America less inevitable and more solvable. Behind neon avenues, caseworkers connect families to rental assistance and shelter referrals. Amid fireworks and carnival tunes, quiet determination grows. Each resource, each kind word chips at the affordable housing shortage, turning distant stats into human triumphs over hardship. Detroit's homeless population could fill a small village, enough faces to populate a rural Main Street. Once an industrial titan, decades of decline left many on the edge. Detroit has a rich musical and automotive heritage. However, bargain rents and good jobs vanished, leaving no stable roofs behind. Imagine Ray, once an auto worker, now sleeping in a shuttered storefront. Grassroots groups repurpose abandoned buildings into transitional homes, transforming silence into sanctuary. This redefines America's hidden struggles, proving even battered cities can rebuild dignity one brick at a time. In co-ops, neighbors share produce and mechanic services, turning US housing crisis data into tangible kindness. And with a housing-first model, empathy and ingenuity can outmaneuver despair. Detroit's story teaches that healing communities isn't just possible, it's already happening. Anchorage's homeless could fill a few city blocks. Imagine a tight-knit neighborhood, but everyone's out in sub-zero nights. Under snow-capped peaks and auroras, a few hundred people struggle against brutal cold. Anchorage has pristine wilderness. However, sub-zero nights without a roof is life-threatening, not just inconvenient. Historically a frontier town, Anchorage expanded but never ensured low-cost housing. Picture Bill, huddled in a winter sleeping bag near a snowbank. Relief agencies supply insulated gear. And by adopting a housing-first model, hope gleams like lanterns in endless winter darkness. Church basements become warming stations as volunteers serve hot cocoa. In this extreme climate, each coat, each bedroll counters America's hidden struggles. Here, basic compassion melts what once felt like an unyielding ice of despair. Albuquerque's homeless population might match a modest residential block. Enough people to populate a small cluster of homes, but instead they find motel rooms or couches. Under radiant sunsets and chilly aromas, many low-wage workers juggle uncertain shelter. Albuquerque has glorious desert skies. However, affordable rentals vanish like mirages on hot asphalt. For centuries, adobe homes sheltered families here, but modern wage stagnation left gaps. Meet Marisol, a hotel cleaner drifting between motel stays. Non-profits push for mental health services and a housing-first model, ensuring stable lodging before tackling any other hurdle. At artisan markets, woven blankets and tenant rights pamphlets mix together. Neighbors pool car rides to distant job sites, quietly eroding US housing crisis fears. Each small solution transforms anonymous statistics into familiar faces, persevering against odds. Austin's homeless could fill a mid-sized concert venue. Imagine a music hall packed, but these people need beds, not seats. Amid BBQ and indie tunes, tech booms inflate rents, pro-live music and food trucks, con needing a backstage pass to afford a stable home. Once a modest college town, Austin's growth soared without enough cheap housing. Think of Darren, a gig worker crashing in a friend's van after rent spikes. Officials debate the housing-first model, revealing that homeless population statistics aren't abstract. They're human narratives demanding action. Beneath neon signs and guitar riffs, volunteers distribute resource maps, turning America's hidden struggles into shared knowledge. Creative zoning tweaks aim to slice the affordable housing shortage. Austin's cultural richness, fused with empathy, shows that compassion can thrive alongside progress. Houston's homeless population equals a large apartment complex. Imagine a single housing development where every unit represents an unhoused person spread across a sprawling metropolis, pro-diverse jobs and cuisines. Confiding a budget-friendly roof can feel like digging for oil blindfolded. Historically oil-driven, Houston expanded outward, never stacking enough affordable units. Meet Lisa, a warehouse worker couch surfing since a sudden layoff. The housing-first model takes root here, turning stark homeless population statistics into stories of neighbors rediscovering stability. In converted parking lots, nurses treat dehydration and distribute hygiene kits. Residents push for flexible zoning and homeless shelters, showing that even in a commerce-first city, empathy can bloom. Each solution transforms fear into relief, proving that numbers can give way to hope. Miami's homeless rival, a tight-knit neighborhood's head count. Imagine a block party where every guest needs a stable roof they can't find. Under Latin rhythms and sunny beaches, rents skyrocket. Propulsing culture and sunshine. Can-realizing apartments cost like beachside condos, even inland. Once a sleepy resort town, Miami grew global without enough affordable homes. Consider Anna, a waitress drifting between hostels as rents outpace her wages. Inclusionary zoning and housing. First model pilots show that homelessness in America can be curbed by blending cultural richness with strategic reforms. At bodegas, tenant rights posters hang beside tropical fruit. Social workers sip cafecito, discussing homeless population statistics that need not define the future. Step by step, Miami's multilingual compassion tackles the affordable housing shortage, guiding strangers toward common ground. Number 16, Honolulu, Hawaii. Honolulu's homeless could fill a small mainland township. Imagine a picturesque village, but here people sleep along beaches and in tents. The warm breezes and fresh pineapple are a pro, but realizing Paradise's price tags lock many out of stable homes is quite the con. Reliant on tourism and military presence, Honolulu built luxury hotels, not entry-level housing. Picture Callio, a hotel staffer who smiles at tourists by day, then seeks a safe corner to rest at night. The housing-first model can anchor families before tackling other hardships, slowly freeing them from America's hidden struggles. Under palm fronds, faith groups offer tarps and water filters, fighting homelessness in America with quiet resolve. Modular housing plans and cultural respect aim to mend the affordable housing shortage, proving aloha isn't just a greeting, it's a promise of caring community spirit. Number 15, Dallas, Texas. Dallas's homeless could fill a few city blocks. Imagine walking a neighborhood where each doorstep belongs to someone without a stable home. Booming jobs, but few cheap apartments, straying lives. The BBQ, sports and business hubs are a pro, but feeling like you need VIP passes to secure basic housing is a con. From cattle trails to financial centers, Dallas grew wealthy, but forgot lower-income building. Consider Aisha, an office temp camping in her car after a sudden eviction. The housing-first model suggests stable rooms lead to stable futures, making homeless population statistics feel less crushing. In old warehouses turned art studios, advocates share produce and tips, eroding the US housing crisis one conversation at a time. With flexible zoning and homeless shelters, Dallas learns that empathy and small policy tweaks can turn grim numbers into stories of renewed faith in community. Number 14, Washington, D.C. D.C.'s homeless count could fill a mid-sized university. Imagine every lecture hall seat taken by someone unsure where they'll sleep tonight. The museums and cultural riches are a pro, but even well-paid interns gasp at median rents, which is definitely a con. Historically fed by federal jobs and lobbying wealth, D.C. lacked equitable housing. Picture Marcus, a security guard sleeping in a shelter despite working full-time. Programs and a housing-first model try reshaping America's hidden struggles into stepping stones for stability. In community halls near marble monuments, legal clinics teach tenants their rights. Amid cherry blossoms and quiet resolve, officials test rent vouchers and zoning reforms. Each measure chips at the affordable housing shortage, proving ideals can influence city streets as much as policy papers. Portland's homeless might fill a large community center. Imagine a bustling event hall, but each attendee needs a stable bed. Known for coffee and craft beer, prosperity isn't shared by all. Lush parks and a laid-back vibe are some of the city's highlights, but finding an affordable studio feels rarer than a secret microbrew flavor. A timber town turned hip hub, Portland attracted newcomers faster than it built homes. Think of Jenna, a barista who lost her apartment when her hours got cut. With mental health outreach and a housing-first model, this city strives to turn homeless population statistics into stories of neighbors lifted up, not left out. In drizzle-soaked bike lanes, volunteers hand out ponchos and tenant guides. Street art reflects America's hidden struggles, merging advocacy with aesthetics. As sanctioned camping areas spring up and planners refine codes, Portland proves that creativity and compassion can warm even the coldest corners of the US housing crisis. Chicago's homeless tally could fill a densely packed condo complex. Imagine a towering building where each apartment stands for someone lacking a real bed. Cultural treasures meet icy winters. Legendary pizza and world-class arts are some of the city's pros, but lake-effect snow is daunting enough without also worrying where to sleep. Once a manufacturing giant, wage gaps widened as booms faded. Picture Devin, who lost his warehouse job and now shares a cramped shelter cot. With rent caps and a housing-first model proposed, homeless population statistics shift from numbers to personal turning points. Under elevated trains, blues musicians strum soothing tunes as outreach workers distribute gloves and hope. Policy debates over vouchers and zoning aim to trim the affordable housing shortage, proving that civic pride and creativity can turn despair into determination. Las Vegas's homeless could fill a mid-size apartment tower. Imagine a single complex housing everyone lacking stable shelter, now spread along the strip's shadows. Non-stop entertainment is a pro, but surviving on tips and luck shouldn't determine if you have a home. Desert railway stop turned resort empire, Vegas never built enough modest units. Think of Rosa, a casino waitress sleeping in her car after a rent spike. Housing first trials and workforce apartments can rewrite America's hidden struggles, showing luck isn't the only way forward. Off-strip community kitchens serve oatmeal at dawn, quietly battling homelessness in America. Every new zoning tweak, every added shelter bed reduces these stark numbers. Vegas proves that beyond the neon lies human warmth, and with effort, even these odds can improve. San Francisco's homeless could fill a large high school. Imagine every student desk a person struggling to find a bed each night. Amid cable cars and gourmet dining, affordability vanished. Pro jaw-dropping bay views. Con, a tiny studio can cost more than an extravagant feast. From gold rush dreams to tech booms, San Francisco soared without enough affordable homes. Picture Luis, a bike messenger, now sleeping in alleys as rents soared beyond his reach. Housing first pilots anchor him before anything else, turning data-heavy homeless population statistics into a personal path to stability. In alleys near Victorian homes, hygiene stations and supportive services form lifelines. Each policy tweak and rent rule attempts to shrink the affordable housing shortage. The city's famed innovation, once fueling wealth, now tries fueling empathy, because progress must lift everyone. Sacramento's homeless could fill a large suburb. Imagine entire streets of families without leases, just survival. Politicians debate as tents line up near the Capitol Dome. Pro farm-to-fork delights, riverside walks, con even the freshest produce can't soften steep rents. A small trading post turned government hub. Sacramento lagged on affordable building. Meet Ella, a teacher's aide forced to sleep in her car after eviction. Stepping stone housing links shelters to permanent homes, showing homelessness in America can shift from fate to fixable. In community farms, housed and unhoused harvest side by side. With each shared vegetable and tenant workshop, the US housing crisis feels less overwhelming. Sacramentans find that weaving empathy into zoning laws and co-ops can turn grim stats into stories of renewal. Phoenix's homeless might fill a small town. Imagine an entire rural community scattered beneath desert sun, rapid growth, scorched affordability. Pro-sunshine and no snow. Finding a cool, affordable apartment feels like chasing a mirage. From farmland to fast-growing sprawl, Phoenix never kept pace with low-cost housing. Picture Raul, a landscaper who ended up in a shelter after a sudden job loss. Non-profits push cooling stations and housing-first model concepts, translating homeless population statistics into warm human solutions. In libraries turned resource hubs, volunteers provide tenant guides. Under relentless heat, every bit of relief, from shaded tents to flexible zoning, whittles away at America's hidden struggles. Phoenix shows that kindness can bloom in any climate. Oakland's homeless could fill a modest town's core, enough people to populate a few bustling blocks. Across the bay from San Francisco, rising costs overflowed here too. Rich cultural tapestry. Even the cheaper alternative strains wallets severely. A working-class refugee turned pricey hotspot, Oakland saw tech wealth flood in without enough affordable building. Meet Kim, who lost her maintenance job, now sleeping in a borrowed RV. The housing first model can reshape these homeless population statistics, proving big problems can yield to focused compassion. Under jazz murals, community forums brew solutions, rent caps, co-living spaces. Empowered by local activism, Oakland's housing crisis feels less like a dead end and more like a puzzle solvable with empathy and courage. San Jose's homeless equals a small rural town. Imagine a village scattered under Silicon Valley's gleaming towers. Tech careers, if you're skilled. A single-bedroom unit priced sky-high excludes many who keep the city running. Once orchard country, now global HQs rise without enough low-rent options. Consider Daryl, a janitor sleeping in his truck as tech salaries bid up rents. A housing-first model suggests stable rooms pave the way for better jobs and mental health support, humanizing dry homeless population statistics. Innovation hubs test apps linking spare rooms to those in need. Each data-driven tweak or zoning reform whittles down America's hidden struggles, showing that Silicon Valley's ingenuity can solve more than just technical puzzles. Denver's homeless could fill a small town, enough people to populate charming streets if only they had roofs. Scenic peaks and hip eateries can't mask soaring housing costs, outdoor adventure, bidding wars as fierce as alpine storms for basic shelter. From mining camp to cultural hub, Denver's boom outran its policies. Think of Avery, a barista sleeping in a church basement after rent hikes. With rent caps, vouchers and a housing-first model, homeless population statistics shift from grim tallies to stories of neighbours regaining footing. In school gyms turned dining halls, housed and unhoused share meals, guitar tunes and advice. Every solution, volunteer coats, flexible zoning, chips at America's hidden struggles, making the housing crisis feel less like a glacier and more like a mound we can clear. San Diego's homeless could fill a decent-sized suburban town. Imagine a whole community in need of stable beds. The mild climate attracts many, but stable housing is elusive. Pro surf, sun, fish tacos, con. A rental hunt requiring treasure maps. A mission town turned tourist hub never balanced luxury condos with starter homes. Meet Elisa, a hotel clerk forced to sleep in her car. Housing-first experiments aim to root people before unraveling their other troubles, transforming numbers into salvaged dreams. On beachside mornings, non-profits offer showers and warm smiles. Each voucher, each legal reform nibbles away at the affordable housing shortage. San Diego's mix of leisure and compassion shows that even big tourist cities can embrace empathy. Seattle's homeless could match a large village, enough to populate a small, thriving community if homes existed. Tech fortunes soared, rents followed suit, pro-coffee islands, scenic views, con apartment prices that brew frustration. From lumber outpost to tech pivot, Seattle's growth left many behind. Imagine Layla, an IT assistant who lost her job, now in a shelter line. With mental health outreach and a housing-first model, stats transform into stepping stones back to stability. Beneath overcast skies, volunteer stations offer coffee and knit scarves, blending help with humanity. Every creative zoning tweak and shelter bed reduces America's hidden struggles, reminding us that under drizzly skies, empathy still glows like a warm ember. LA's homeless population could fill a decent town. Imagine thousands searching for beds under iconic palm trees and Hollywood lights. Pro-sunshine, entertainment. Can realizing blockbusters aren't needed to see that rent here can break anyone's bank. From Pueblo origins to global film capital, LA built mansions, not modest homes. Meet Tina, a waitress sleeping in a tent near mansions she can never hope to enter. The housing-first model and tiny home villages attempt to anchor her future, showing homeless population statistics need not remain tragic. In Skid Row, pop-up art galleries and job fairs restore dignity. Each policy shift and shelter bed chips at the affordable housing shortage, proving the city of stars can also guide people out of the darkness. New York's homeless outnumber many entire towns. Imagine a small city's population scattered beneath neon billboards and skyscrapers, pro-infinite culture. Con thousands sleep in subways and doorways despite all that wealth and fame. Since colonial days, NYC soared in prestige without ensuring enough affordable units. Picture Tyrone, once a cafe manager, now in a shelter bunk. A housing-first model gives him 4 walls before any other fix, shifting homeless population statistics from grim totals to second chances. In renovated brownstones, activists debate rent caps, flexible zoning, and smarter resource allocation. Every supportive housing unit and legal reform peels away layers of the affordable housing shortage, reminding us that beneath the city's roar lies power to help thousands stand tall again. So there you have it, 25 US cities where homeless populations are large enough to fill entire school auditoriums, suburban blocks or small towns. We've traveled from quiet villages to global capitals, seen homelessness in America unfold in countless forms, and discovered that even as the US housing crisis persists, compassion and ingenuity blossom in unexpected places. Which city's story touched you most? Which solution felt like a spark of hope? Remember that behind each statistic stands a human face. By understanding America's hidden struggles, we transform fear into empathy and action. Donate, volunteer, advocate for the Housing First model, or simply spread awareness. Every effort can tip the balance. Thank you for watching Let's Explore. Subscribe for more journeys that reveal not just places, but the hearts and hopes of people shaping them. Until next time, stay curious, caring, and committed to building a future where everyone has a stable place to call home.